Good morning. My name is Kathy Taylor. I am the program manager with Garner Police Athletic Activities League. With me, I have Traffic Safety Officer Patrick McGuire. He is one of our coordinators at the schools. So Garner PAAL is a youth crime prevention program. We have 7 elementary schools in Garner, and in each school we have an officer and a volunteer. Those officers will do athletics activities with the kids there at the school. We usually have about 10 to 12 kids in each program at the elementary schools, and we go about 30 to 40 minutes twice a month. In the middle schools, we have anywhere from 30 to 40 kids, and each middle school has a school resource officer. And the school resource officer will conduct the PAAL program there, and as well we do have volunteers there, probably anywhere from 2 to 3 at the school. In all the schools, and speaking on athletics, usually it's playing kickball, freeze tag, anything like that, football, baseball, and the officers that are also working on duty that day will also come and, spend time with the kids as well. In our middle school program, we have where the officers come to the school. They will play as well football and kickball and stuff like that. But we also, because it is an after-school program, they usually meet around 3:30 to 5, but we're also able to take the kids off campus. PAAL now has a van, thanks to Garner Rotary, but we have a van now that we're able to transport kids, and we will go bowling, and we go to Rush Hour Karting, who is also a big partner with PAAL. In our high school program, our plan is we will have like a cadet program, and we had planned to start it last year, but unfortunately with COVID we were unable to do that, so hopefully we'll be able to start it this coming fall. But we will have anywhere from 12 to 15 kids that will sign up in the high school program. They will actually come to the police department and they will have more like a hands-on. They'll learn about what it's like in the day in the life of a police officer. They'll learn how to do traffic stops and just more of a hands-on. And that will be probably about twice a month. So hopefully we'll be able to get that started this fall. We do have, unfortunately due to COVID, our officers were not able to go into the schools last year. But what we did is PAAL still was very active in the community. We helped with Community of Hope. We helped with the YMCA with the food hub. So we were delivering food to communities that were in need. And we also, the YMCA did a virtual program where they were helping parents, where the kids could come to the Y and, do the virtual learning there with the Y program. And what we did is we picked up lunches from the elementary schools like Vandora and would take the lunches over there. We also help with Shop with a Cop. That is a big program that the Garner Police Department does every year in December, where they have kids from the elementary schools that are in need, and they actually shop with the officers. This year was a little different, last year was a little different because we weren't able to actually go into the Walmart and shop with the kids, but the officers still got the list. They went and did all the shopping, and then we actually wrapped all the gifts and then delivered everything. So PAAL, even though during COVID we had a lot of restrictions, we still were very involved with the community. We have a video. It's about 6 minutes long, and honestly I could sit up here and talk to you all day long about PAAL, but I think if you watch this video it will give you a good idea of what our officers do and our volunteers in the schools, in the community, and it will and then after that, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask us, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
When I first got started, I thought I would get a chance to spend some time with kids and hopefully impact their lives. Something that I didn't realize was how much it was going to impact my life. And I've seen that really have a profound effect on some officers and volunteers, board members throughout the last 8 years.
So back in 2010, Ralph Smith came to the police department and spoke with the chief and I about starting a new community program, something that Garner doesn't currently offer. During several staff meetings, we spoke about different options on things that we can do. And the Garner Police Athletic League was formed from a staff meeting at that point.
We've been really excited to have PAAL as a program that we can offer to our students for the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 years. And it's just been fantastic. It's an opportunity for our police officers to come into the school and meet our children and really become sort of a mentor to them. Over time, we've had more volunteers that have participated in that, and it just means so much. Our kids, it gives them something to look forward to each week. They know that their folks are coming. We know that this isn't just a school hour type program. We know that families reach out to the officers outside of school, that the relationships are just ongoing, that they provide continuous support and encouragement in all kinds of ways that go beyond the 4 walls of the classroom.
Most recently, I've been assigned to Creech Road Elementary. A lot of those students, they're really intrigued by all the different departments within the police departments. If I could have a canine handler come out, or sometimes our SRT team comes out and just more or less do a show and tell for the kids, a lot of times they like stuff like that.
So with the PAAL program, I spent the previous 6 years as the school resource officer at North Garner Middle School. I think the most positive things that came out of that for me was having the opportunity to interact with them at the different grade levels and kind of take away the stigma that is sometimes associated with police officers. Also gave them the opportunity to give me their perspective on things. So we could have conversations. We would have deep conversations about things that would go on, and I could see the world from their eyes as well.
PAAL has taught me how to be a leader, and I use this in my everyday experience when I'm going to talk to older people and in my ROTC program and other programs where I have to step up and be the lead. It comes very easy to me now because of the things that I learned through PAAL, and it also taught me how to have a healthy relationship with people that are of my authority, like police officers and other people like teachers. After I had left the middle school, I still wanted to be so involved with PAAL because it meant so much to me that I actually came back and helped 2 years with the PAAL summer program, and I also helped volunteer and lead lessons at North Garner Middle School.
In the last year, we've purchased, through a partnership with the Garner Rotary Club, a new van. This van has eliminated one of the largest obstacles to participating in after-school programming, transportation. So we're now able to move children from where they are to where they can be in a positive environment. This is one of our largest accomplishments in the last 6 months. We want to build on those. We want to increase our partnerships like the one we have with Pride Boxing, where we deliver children to Pride Boxing Arena. They learn this boxing skill and they are developing their self-confidence as they're doing that. These are the types of things that we want to continue doing and do even more of.
My relationship is tremendous. The people the core foundational components of PAAL are tremendous. We've built relationships. I believe in the program and what they do. To me, it goes back to relationships. So Moonrunners and PAAL have collaborated on a golf tournament, and we are actually hosting our 7th annual golf tournament this year with PAAL. And we've raised money each and every year, and I think we broke a record last year. What did we do? $15,000 last year, so that's what we do.
PAAL, I think, is a wide open future. I think it really can go in a lot of different directions. I really foresee us at some point having a facility here in Garner where kids can come to. So instead of us always having to go out to the schools or those facilities that are out in the community, that actually have a place for the kids to come to, something a little more permanent for them to come and do some activities and athletics and have our officers have more time to interact with the kids.
Again, it's just for kids to feel another source of encouragement and support, which is, vital to our social and emotional needs of our kids.
So you want to have an impact with them, but you don't realize they're having an impact with you at the same time.
All right. Welcome back from that nice video we just played for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Just kind of put in a visual context what PAAL, not all, but what some of PAAL is about. So let's go back. I got a question I want to ask Kathy that was maybe possibly left out before. We build partnerships. PAAL builds partnerships with other entities within the town. And one partnership that we have built is with Pride Boxing. So Kathy, you want to talk a little bit about how Pride Boxing and PAAL have partnered up?
Yeah, so Garner's very well known for baseball and football, and we were trying to think of something that we could do that was a little bit different. And National PAAL is really big on boxing. So we had Coach Kenny Williams, who had moved into the area, and he has Pride Boxing, which is not far here from the police department. So we partnered with him, and PAAL pays for 8 to 10 kids in the middle or high school that are interested in boxing, and we have transportation to get them there. And they learn not only boxing skills, but Coach Williams also mentors the kids and helps them with homework and other stuff as well. But the boxing program has been really big with Garner, with PAAL, and with the police department. We have a lot of our officers that will go over there and get in the rink with them and, and spend time with them. So it's a great program, and we continue it today. And we started out with 8 to 10, but we're hoping to be able to, have more kids that can do the program as well.
All right, very good. Officer McGuire, you've been part of PAAL for a while now, and I know you've bounced around to different schools. You're not just in one place. So just speak to the people about your experiences with PAAL so far, maybe some success stories you might have, and just kind of overall like what you do with PAAL.
Yeah, so I've volunteered with 3 schools now. I've been pretty much involved with the organization since Miss Kathy took it over. But I've helped with Bryan Road, Creech, and East Garner Middle School. Personally, I think middle school is the most enjoyable for me. The kids are really starting to get a whole lot of personality, and you can see that they're actually involved, and they want to hear what you have to say. They're excited whenever we go there to the schools, particularly whenever we show them like different positions within the department. Like for me, like she explained, I'm on a traffic unit where I'm assigned to a motorcycle. A lot of the kids like to see the motorcycle. So yeah, like I said, just those specialty positions. We'll have people from the K-9 division come in and show the dogs. The kids are always really excited to see that. People from the SRT team will come in, show their equipment. Something I don't think Miss Kathy mentioned was the challenge camp that we do as well. That was exciting. I really enjoyed that. That was a whole week long. And then in that challenge camp, they really focus on leadership and building good like morals and values and stuff like that. So it's exciting, and I enjoy doing it.
And you said this challenge camp, how many kids did normally attend?
So that's probably
About
a better
20.
question.
It's about 10 from East Garner and 10 from North Garner. We
But they're
take
all middle school age kids?
middle school, and it's the 2 middle schools in Garner that we
And
take.
what type, so you said it's a week-long thing, right? So how many, I'm sorry, not how many, but what kinds of events or what kind of activities does the PAAL Challenge Camp focus on?
So each day is something different. So we may do one day we go and clean up the community. Breakfast and lunch is provided for each child along with snacks and waters. And then some days we have like rock climbing. We go to the NC State rock climbing course. So it's like Officer McGuire stated, it teaches them team building, it teaches them sportsmanship, it teaches them how to be a friend, how to respect authority. And so they learn a lot, and we usually will close up the camp with the community service where we'll clean up on Vandora and on Avisboro. And believe it or not, and sometimes we'll clean up the schools, and they love it. I mean, they really do. It wasn't all about just, doing the rock climbing and, the ropes course, which that was very challenging. But it was a lot of fun. And seeing them root each other on was really cool. And even in the regular PAAL programs, the elementary and the middle school programs, you see the kids start out in these programs where a lot of them don't even know each other. And next thing you know, they've formed this bond. They've become really good friends. And one thing I did forget to mention is we also get to know the families and the parents to where they'll reach out to us, you know, and have ideas, or some of them come in and want to volunteer. So it's kind of like the police department, PAL, the teachers, the families all work together with these kids, and it just becomes one big family.
Okay, very good. And we can always come back to PAL, but let's move on to some crime analysts. So right here with us also, we are blessed to have such a crime analyst in our presence. Caleb Myers, everyone. He has been working for the Garner Police Department for
3 years now.
3 years now. And so just tell the people what you do, what your main goal and what your main job is at the Garner Police Department.
And before we go on to that, I mean, I did a little help with PAL as well here and at my previous department. And you see the benefits when you walk into a room. I know Officer McGuire mentioned it, how the kids just change their demeanor, their faces light up, you know, they become more interested. I don't know if it's being with the police department and they're excited to see someone, or if it's just a break in their day. It's probably most likely just a break in their day, but they're definitely doing good work over at PAL. As he mentioned, I'm Caleb Myers. I'm the crime analyst for the Garner Police Department. Been here for 3 years. Prior to that, I came from Philadelphia Police Department, and I was there for 3 years as well. So my role here is I kind of get involved in a little bit of everything. Pretty much what anybody asks me to do, I'm there to help. My role is support, so I support whether it's command staff with stats, or if it's officers with locating a suspect, pretty much anybody and everybody. So the day-to-day that I do is I'll get stats from, you know, Chief Benz or from our command staff, and I go and run down those stats, find those stats. I'll put together a little package for them. And it might be something that they present to council, or it might be something that they send back out to the public. So that's a part of my job. But I also work under our Lieutenant McKeever, who's over our CID. That's my direct supervisor. So I work a lot with the detectives and patrol officers and helping them solve cases, helping them locate suspects, or locate, I mean, anything from social media to phone numbers to old addresses to mothers, fathers, pretty much just help them out and trying to find the suspect and apprehend somebody. And so that's kind of my two priorities right there, my two jobs. It's the working with the officers to locate suspects, to help them solve crimes, and it's also the stats that come from everywhere. From we've had a couple civilians come in and ask for stats for projects. There's a lot of development going on in Garner, both commercial and residential, so I help with that, provide stats for Chief Benz when he goes talks to the council, or provide stats for if a new residential development is coming in, how that's going to affect our numbers, and what that looks like to us on the policing end of it. So that's pretty much what I do. Like I said, it varies day to day. I enjoy what I do just because of that. You know, there's always something to do in my job and my position. So that's pretty much all I have.
Yeah. So you mentioned stats a lot. So you see a lot of the crime trends, maybe crime patterns that happen within the town. Since we're on this platform, let's use this platform to kind of let the community know certain issues that we've been seeing lately within the town that can quite honestly be prevented from even happening in the first place. If you want to speak to that, go ahead as far as the cars and stuff like that.
Yeah, so lately, I mean, the biggest thing we're seeing a lot right now is motor vehicle theft. So we get a lot of people that might leave their keys in the car, leave it running, leave it unlocked, and kind of go into a gas station or go into a retail establishment. You know, they're just only going to be in there for a few seconds, so they leave it unlocked and they go in. But to a suspect, that's all they need, especially if the key's in there, especially if the vehicle is running. They only need a few seconds. And if they're sitting possibly where you can't see them, it's fairly easy for them because they're watching everybody come in to the parking lot. They're watching everybody go into the store, and they're seeing what you do, and they're watching you. And you might not see them. Most of the cases, we talk to the victims or the complainants, and they don't see this. They don't see this person. They don't see who. They can't give us a description of the suspect. Thankfully, in some cases, we do have video, so we can kind of go somewhere with it. But that's the biggest thing we're seeing right now is vehicles unlocked with keys in the car, and a lot of times they're left running as well, and the suspects see that and they just jump in and take off. So, you know, we encourage you guys to, and that's for everybody, and that goes everywhere. My prior department had that happen a lot because I was up north, so they, you know, people want to get out there and get their car warmed up, and they leave it run, leave it unlocked, and we had a lot of that as well. So, I mean, the biggest thing is we just love to see, you know, doors locked, keys taken out, valuables hidden. We get a lot of our parks and our recreational areas get a lot of people that do the same thing, a lot of suspects that do the same thing, where they're watching people come into the parking lot, they're watching what you do, and if they see you leave your vehicle, possibly without anything in your hands, then they know, well, they had to come with something. They had to come with a driver's license. They had to come with a wallet in case they need something. So they're going to go over there and look. And in a lot of those cases, you know, you lock the vehicle, but you leave the valuables in plain sight, and the suspects see that, and they don't mind breaking a window. So we just encourage you, you know, to lock the doors, keep the keys with you, take them with you, and also keep your valuables out of plain sight. If you can take them with you, that's the best bet. If not, we encourage you to hide them in some sort of manner or lock them away. And I think that's some of the big things. With the big retail presence that we have here, we always see shoplifting. So if you're out shopping, just keep an eye open for suspicious things. We love getting tips. We love getting people from the public that help out, that, you know, send us information. It might not mean anything to them. It might not mean anything to anybody else. But someday it might come back around, circle back around. So we love getting that information. If you have something like that, we have a tip line that you can send that information to, or contact the police department directly. So.
Yeah, Caleb, you bring up a good point as far as people calling in tips. As minuscule as it may seem to you or someone else, we've had tips come in that, you know, maybe on its face did seem minuscule, but have helped tremendously on something that may have happened, you know, either way before or could happen in the future. So again, he brings up a really good point. If you have something that you want to report, please, you know, call it in and report it. If it turns out to be nothing, that's fine too. We'd rather be safe than sorry. So cool, very cool.
Yeah, and if I can touch on that. Absolutely. Too, and we had a case, I think it's been 2000, it's a little older, and a civilian that was, he's a manager of a store. He walked out, saw a suspicious vehicle, and took a couple pictures. Didn't think anything of it, right? And he was like, man, you know, this guy's just hanging around, or this vehicle's just kind of riding through, and it doesn't feel right. And he took a couple pictures, perfect picture of the license plate, this and that, and didn't do anything with it. He was like, well, if something comes, you know, I'll send it to the police. A week later, we had a robbery, and that our suspect ended up being that vehicle that was riding through the parking lot prior to that. So just something like that. If it doesn't feel right, you know, jot down some information. You know, not everybody can get a license plate. We understand that. But if you jot down, you know, descriptions of the vehicle, description of the person driving the vehicle, and you know, if you want to hold on to that information, great. And if something comes of it, boom, you can send it to us. But we always have that tip line. You know, you can always call us and give us that information. But in that scenario, it worked out for us perfect. And I believe we recognized that civilian as well. So.
Yeah, we sure did. And what's that tip line again, just so everybody knows?
I don't have it on me.
Okay. We'll get that out. We'll get that out on social media. It's not a big deal.
I think the email is just tips@Garner.NC.
Yep.
So if you want to send an email.
Email's fine too.
Yep.
Perfect. But yeah, guys, we can't stress enough how important Caleb is to our police department and to our community. You know, unfortunately, he's probably one of the guys that you guys never get to see, but which is why we bring him on today. But he is behind the scenes. He is doing a lot of the legwork for us, a lot of the legwork when it comes to investigating crimes, crime patterns. You name it, this guy does it, as he said before. So we thank you very, very much for that. I know you probably don't get the recognition that you deserve, but I want to say it myself. So yeah, going back to PAAL, I mean, we spoke about a lot of things with PAAL, and we spoke a lot of things about crime analysis and stuff. So I've been looking. We haven't had any questions. PAAL, is there anything else you want to add before we end up ending this live stream?
PAAL is always looking for board members and volunteers. So I don't know if it can be on this Facebook Live, but you can reach out to me. It's Kathy Taylor at ktaylor@garnernc.gov, and I'll be glad to talk with you.
Mind if I write that in the comments?
Yep,
So K Taylor.
@garnernc.gov.
I'll put contact K Taylor. Officer McGuire, any last closing words from you, my friend?
No, I don't think so. I think we're good.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, look, I think this is going to conclude our live stream of Chat with the Cop, March edition. We want to say thank you so much to all the people that were tuning in or are still tuning in. We're doing these more and more and more. We're going to keep doing these. We like the way this is. We like this platform. We like being able to reach out to you guys live and be able to take questions if you have any. And it seems like every time we do it, we get a little bit more viewers. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Tracy. Sorry, she just chimed in. The tip line is in there in the notes, 919-890-7318. And the email is gpdtips@garnernc.gov. So that'll be in the notes section for you guys. But thank you again. Thank you for everyone involved. Thank you, everybody on our panel. Thank you for our behind the scenes AV people for putting this on. If you've been watching, you probably tell this is a little different setup than what you probably used to seeing. So like I said, this is keeping going. We're evolving. We're going to keep making it better and better and better. So thank you so much. And everybody, please stay safe. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.